back at it following their first day off. They had played 20 consecutive days before yesterday's day off. Southwest Airlines starting lineups for the Rangers. Texas comes in on a 3-game winning streak. Julio Bourbon, Elvis Andrus, and Ian Kinsler up top. Kinsler leads the Rangers and runs RBI, steals, and walks. He is a dangerous hitter in the middle of the lineup. Marlon Byrd with David Murphy in left, and Nelson Cruz in right. Ivan Rodriguez back with the Rangers. He will catch him bat 7th. Chris Davis at first, and the veteran Omar Vizquel at third base batting 9th.
Now down to the PNC scouting report for Chris Tillman. Fastball, and he's added a 2-seam fastball. He gets a little more movement, curveball, and a changeup. His movement on his fastball is improving dramatically. It gives him another little dimension that hitters have to deal with. He's got confidence in his changeup that they can throw at any time. And that's an important pitch against this Texas Ranger ball club because they are very aggressive and a very good fastball hitting ball club.
Why is it that early on here in his brief career he has handled left-handed batters with more efficiency than right-handed batters?
Because of the changeup. He doesn't throw the changeup as frequently to right-handed batters. I think that's a real mistake. He's got a good changeup. It keeps the left-handers off balance. They don't really have a chance to time his fastball. He will get confidence to throw it to right-handers as well. But young pitchers traditionally are reluctant to throw the changeup to the same side batter as they're pitching. Right-handers reluctant to throw it to right-handed hitters.
Here is the rookie Julio Bourbon, who is DHing and leading off. And he has injected a lot of enthusiasm into this Texas lineup. Playing in just his 20th game. Bunt attempt, pops it up, and right to Michael Aubrey. So on one pitch, there's one down in the top of the first as Bourbon on the bunt attempt pops it up to first base.
Well, the defense has been very good. Michael Aubrey makes the first play. They have committed 78 errors. That's 7th in the American League. The outfield has 30 assists. Raimel P.A. and Marquez. P.A. making his 18th start. Sturis and Roberts up the middle. Mora and Aubrey. Aubrey making his 4th start at first base. And Matt Wieters is teamed up once again with his rookie battery mate, Chris Tillman.
One pitch, one down. Here is Elvis Andrus, the shortstop for Texas, and he takes a strike. We've been talking quite a bit all year about possible Rookie of the Year candidates. Here's another of the Rookie of the Year candidates. Got a 6-game hitting streak going. And pretty good numbers, 268 average with the 6 home runs. He began the year as a 20-year-old starter, now 21.
Yeah, and quite a controversy in the offseason when Andrus was designated as the shortstop. They asked Michael Young to move to third base, and Young was reluctant, but boy, it's changed their defense dramatically.
Breaking ball is high, 2-1 on Elvis Andrus. Tillman making his 8th start. He's coming off a no decision, although he pitched very well last Saturday night against the Indians. Fastball foul back. He pitched the game in which he had 5 strong, and then the hour and 37-minute rain delay came, and he couldn't come back after.
Yeah, and he is really showing signs of dramatic improvement. I think one thing that happens to pitchers after their first 4 or 5 starts, they recognize that what worked for them in the minor leagues will work for them in the big leagues.
2-2 to Andrus is lined and past Roberts and in the right field for a base hit as it sailed away. So a 1-out single for Elvis Andrus. Well, Rick Dempsey was just talking on OS Extra about how Ian Kinsler is dangerous. He took the Orioles for a cycle in Texas.
Well, he sure did. He had 6 hits on a night, and Ian Kinsler is one of the most dangerous hitters in all of baseball. He's got power, he hits for average, he hits the ball all over the ballpark, and he's got good speed. Truly a great combination for a number 3 hitter. That's where he is in the lineup tonight, and he's got 28 steals on top of his bat.
And he's even more important to the Rangers because Josh Hamilton is out with an injury and Michael Young is out with a hamstring pull, and he might be out a couple of weeks.
Yeah, they expect Young back at the start of the Angels series, the middle of September.
Breaking ball inside, 1-0 on Kinsler, is now 26 years old. Andrus leads from first. He is a stolen base threat. He's got 24 on the year. He's been caught only 3 times. And Tillman steps off.
You have to expect the Rangers are going to force the running game a bit with both Young and Hamilton out of their lineup.
There have been very few stolen base attempts against Tillman. That pitch missed badly outside. 2-0 on Kinsler.
Well, one thing Chris Tillman has to do with Kinsler at the plate is make sure he focuses on Kinsler and doesn't get distracted by Andrus. Kinsler is certainly a threat to knock the ball out of the ballpark, and you can't become too preoccupied with the base runner at first.
Late on that swing, 2-1.
I think he was trying to hit it out.
He smelled number 30.
He was looking right in the dugout when he's finished. Watch this. This is hard charge. He got the count in his favor, and he just pulled his head off.
Northrop Grumman, the information systems powerhouse, bringing us our pitch tracks. A 2-1 on Kinsler. Just inside, ball 3. And Kinsler has been hot over his last 8 games and batting in that number 3 spot. So tonight, as a toss to first, chases Andrews, with Brian Roberts batting 3rd for the first time this year. Each team's second baseman in that number 3 spot.
This is a perfect count for Tillman to throw a changeup. The opportunity, you've got to believe Kinsler's looking fastball, and he should.
And it's high, ball 4. So following the single, there's a walk to Kinsler. And Texas has 2 on with 1 down. The Rangers come in 17 games above 500. It is the second time this year they have been 17 above. They have not yet been able to get to 18 above. And they are right in both the race for the AL West title and the wild card. Ron Washington has done a tremendous job with this team. In fact, it might be easier for them to win the division than it would be to win the wild card. Here's Marlon Byrd. He takes ball 1.
Yeah, I agree with that wholeheartedly. They have beaten the Angels 9 of the 12 games they have played, and they're only 3.5 back of Los Angeles. They have 7 games remaining head to head, and Texas has played very well against the American League West, while the Angels have struggled. Los Angeles just 18-23 against their division.
1-0 pitch, swung out and fouled off down the right side. That'll slice back in the crowd. So 1-1 on Marlon Byrd.
This team is really going to be tested by Chris Tillman tonight, given the fact that Byrd is 3 for his last 30. No Young, no Hamilton, so they're going to have some of these guys turn things around. This year against the Orioles, Byrd has been a terrific hitter. 3 doubles, 6 runs driven in, and a .440 average. They'd like to keep him cold.
Pitch is taken for a strike, and 1-2 on Marlon Byrd. Chris Tillman, 21 years old, and there's talk that he'll be shut down in the very near future. Buck, here's the breakdown of his innings per year since he turned pro in 2006. Mariners brought him along very slowly that year, but then in 07, his first full season, 135 2/3. Last year with the Orioles, exact number 135 2/3, 137 coming into this start tonight. His combined numbers between AAA and the Orioles. There's a line drive and a base hit in the left center field. Andrews will round 3rd and he'll score, and Texas grabs a 1-0 lead. So on a 1-2 pitch, Byrd got one out over the plate, and he puts the Rangers on top.
Man, it looked like a curveball that stayed up and out over the plate. Byrd put it in play into center field. So 3 base runners in a row reached after the leadoff hitter was out. It was a high curveball, and he hits it right over leaping Cesar Asturis. And here comes Elvis Andrews in to score the first run of the ball game.
Kinsler stopped at second, Byrd at first, and here's David Murphy. But Andy McPhail said the other day that you could expect maybe a 20% increase in the innings pitched from the year before. So that would mean that Tillman would have about 25 more innings in him if you use the exact 20% number, as David Murphy swings through it. Now, of course, there are easier innings than others, so I'm sure they won't make it that finite. But so basically, you're looking at maybe 3-4 starts.
Yeah, and what Dave Tremblay said before the game about Tillman and Mattis both was they were going to watch how they perform. They have that number in their mind, and they have figured 20% is the appropriate number for Tillman and Mattis. And Dave Tremblay suggested they're going to watch and make sure they're not pitching fatigue, make sure they don't have big pitch innings where they really have to labor to get through particular innings. So just kind of keep an overall eye on them to see that they are still fresh and still maintaining their delivery.
As Murphy fouls it back, it's kind of amazing that in his last year in the Mariners organization, and then last year pitching for Bowie, he threw the exact number of innings, 135 2/3 each of the last 2 years.
And obviously he's a very young guy. He's 21 years old, and Brian Roberts now comes in. Maybe he sensed that there might be some relaying of location or something here at second base. Ian Kinsler's a veteran hitter, and if the catcher and pitcher will give you an opportunity to, I personally believe it's your duty as a base runner at second base to relay. If you can pick up location early and give it to your hitter, that's part of the game. So as a catcher, I always felt it was my responsibility to protect the pitcher's location and pitch selection.
Murphy down in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. And he got him. Changeup got him as Murphy swings through it. 2 men down on the first strikeout for Chris Tillman.
That's a great changeup. We talked about how much confidence he has in his changeup. He can throw it 0-2 and gets a very important strikeout of David Murphy.
2 down as Tillman now will go after Nelson Cruz, who is tied for 5th in the league in home runs with 30. Texas is 2nd in the league in home runs, 199 on the year. Curveball's high, 1-0. It's kind of amazing. You were talking about the several hitters in this lineup who are slumping. You can see how they've turned it around here. It's all about who goes to the mound and catching the baseball, because their team offensive numbers are not very good. Fastball, throw to second base, and out at second base is the trail runner Marlon Byrd, and that gets Tillman out of it. So Texas scores a run on 2 hits, stranding 1. We'll head to the bottom of the first. Texas 1, and here come the Birds.
That's as good a throw as Matt has made all year long. Right on the money to Brian Roberts, and Marlon Bird's sitting back.
So Wieters gets the trail runner. That ends the inning. Southwest Airlines starting lineups for the Orioles, and this is not a mistake. Felix P.A., Nolan Reimold, and Brian Roberts in that number 3 spot. First time in his career that Brian is batting third. Markakis, Scott, and Wieters with Mora, Michael Aubrey, and Asturias rounding it out for the Birds.
PNC scouting report for the Rangers right-hander Scott Feldman. Fastball, curveball, slider, and a changeup. His fastball cuts and runs, and that's been the big neutralizer for him, especially against left-handed batters. He can cut that fastball right in on their hands, and as Rick Dempsey told you in the pregame show, he is 10-1 on the road. He is truly a road warrior. 25th start of the season, 14-4 for Scott Feldman. And as you can see, he's not a strikeout guy. He wants you to put it in play.
Here's Felix P.A. leading off. Hard hit ball right at third, and close was Omar Vizquel. And on one pitch, P.A.'s retired, 1 away. So each pitcher gets an out on the first pitch of the game.
Omar Vizquel playing third base, just the 3rd start of the season for the veteran, as his third base partner, Michael Young, is out with a strained hamstring. Vizquel has been invaluable to this team for his mentoring of the young shortstop, Elvis Andrus. And also now he's going to play an important part. And anytime you can put an 11-time Gold Glover in defensively, you've got a leg up on it.
Nolan Reimold batting second. And he takes a strike. Nolan has a modest 2-game hitting streak going, 5 for his last 7. Hit a home run the other night. His 13th on the year. Swings through it, it's 0-2.
And that's the sinker. He literally throws the fastball, one in the inside that sinks in, the other one cuts away. And as I mentioned, the cutter is very important facing left-handed batters.
0-2 is taken low, 1-2. And Feldman, you talk about a pitcher putting it all together very quickly, at least quickly in the sense that he's had his best year. It's his first winning season in the major leagues, pitching in his 5th year. But his best record coming into this season was just 6-8. And here he is at 14-4. He was a 30th round draft pick of the Rangers back in 2003, the 886th player selected in that draft. Line drive, there's a base hit for Reimold. So the Orioles trying to come back on Texas, have a 1-out single from Nolan Reimold. So Brian Roberts coming up, Buck, batting third. Couple of second basemen in this game, each batting third for their teams.
The first time in his career he's hit third, and you look at the 2 second basemen and compare them offensively, they compare very favorable. Extra base hits, they're among the leaders, 64 for Roberts, 57 for Kinsler. Roberts has scored more runs, and Kinsler has 1 more stolen base, but they're both very good offensive players.
So Bryant comes up with a man on. And Feldman goes to the stretch for the first time. Reimold has 8 steals this year. He's been caught twice. Whereas the Rangers have Ivan Rodriguez back. They traded for him, and he's behind the plate tonight. And all of a sudden, the guy was supposed to play twice a week. Now that the Rangers are in a race, Ron Washington keeps writing his name in the lineup.
And it has a lot to do, of course, with how quickly he has got into lockstep with the starters on this staff. There was a time in Pudge's career where pitching wasn't so important to him. He was always an offensive player. He could always throw, change the game with the strength of his arm and his quickness behind the plate. But when he went to Florida in 2003 and was part of that World Series team, that's when he really understood what his main role was behind the plate, getting the pitcher through the game.
Ball and a strike on Roberts. That one breaks in there for a strike. There might have been a little bit of a cutter, Buck. It started outside and broke right back in, and Roberts took it. And Bryant trying to find his stroke. He does have a 2-game hitting streak going, but just 2 for 9 in the streak, and you saw the numbers over the past 9 games. And strike 3 call. High strike called. Roberts down, 2 and out.
Well, this is part of the approach Feldman uses. Literally, he will throw an awful lot of fastballs, and that was a fastball up. It was well within the strike zone. You can see it's just above his belt. But in Terry Crowley's scouting report, they have notes that he will run that ball upstairs and get you to chase. That time, Brian Roberts laid off of it, and it's a called 3rd strike.
So Nick Markakis now with Reimold at first and 2 down. Markakis, 16 home runs, 8th in the league in RBIs with those 90. And he takes a strike, 0-1.
Feldman basically is kind of a newer version of Roy Halladay. The conversion has been very effective. Everything he throws moves now. His fastball moves to both sides of the plate. He'll sink one, cut one, but just like Halladay, he throws a lot of strikes with his fastball.
That one misses high, 1-1. Well, one thing he excels at is winning on the road. He has 10 wins on the road, 10 of his 14. Only CC Sabathia has more, and he has 11, and he won his 11th here the other night. It's just an amazing number when you see how many games he has won on the road, not only this year, in his career.
Now, this is only his 25th start of the season. I mean, you've got to give him an awful lot of credit for being so tough on the road. And he was a reliever. This is only his 2nd season of starting, and they've changed his whole approach.
1-1 on Markakis. And fouled off Ivan Rodriguez floats back at the plate, 1-2.
Well, Nick Markakis, what a season he has had, and certainly when you look at his numbers since the All-Star break, .330. He's hit 14 doubles, a triple, and 8 home runs. He has maintained the consistency that few young players are able to achieve, and he has done it very early.
Already in his 4th year at 25 years old. 1-2 the count on him. And it's a little low, 2-2. Feldman 10-1 on the road, and his only road loss came in interleague play. The Giants beat him in San Francisco. In his last 6 road decisions, and there's the breakdown, he is 6-0 in his last 6 decisions on the road. Up inside, ball 3. Markakis has worked the count full 3-2, which will give Nolan Reimold a break to second base. Full count with 2 down. Chris Davis now will play behind Reimold with a left-handed batter at the plate. Texas got a run in the top of the 1st. Orioles trying to answer here in the bottom of the 1st. And it's popped up right over home plate. Rodriguez throws the mass and has it for the out. So a 1-out single and a man left. Led to the 2nd at Oriole Park. 1-0 Texas. Nelson Cruz will lead off. He was at the plate when Bird was caught trying to steal. First ball swinging, fouls it off. Cruz, Rodriguez, and Davis for Texas in the 2nd. Check swinging, it's down and away, 1-1. Chris Tillman has not won in his last 3 starts. His one and only big league win came on August 14th against the Angels. So he beat the Angels that night to help out Texas, trying to return the favor tonight and beat Texas to help out the Angels. Ball 3.
Yeah, he is not in a very good delivery at all tonight. We have seen this from time to time where it takes him an inning or 2 to really get his delivery, but you can see he's leaving an awful lot of pitches up. So his timing is off a little bit. He's not leading with his hand, and he's just out in front a bit.
High fly ball to center field. PA back on it as it carries. And on the warning track, he reaches up and has it. All the way back to the wall, but PA has it for the out. And 1 down. Well, tomorrow the Orioles will honor the 1939 and the 1949 champion Baltimore Elite Giants by wearing special throwback uniforms during their 4-10 game of the Rangers. Special pregame ceremonies are also planned, so don't miss this unique day at Oriole Park. Tickets start as low as $9. For tickets, 888-848-BIRD or online at Orioles.com.
That ball really carried, and it was carrying all during batting practice for both teams. And PA, aware of that, had a pretty good idea that that might go a little bit deeper than he initially thought.
Ivan Rodriguez fouls it back.
Yeah, the Pudge plan originally was for him to catch 3 days and Taylor Teagarden to catch, or excuse me, Pudge to catch 2 and Teagarden to catch 3. But now Pudge has started 9 of the last 11 games, 6 behind the plate, and 3 as DH. Some of that will increase now, of course, without Michael Young or Josh Hamilton. 2 offensive players, so you're going to want to get the bat of Rodriguez in there, either at DH or behind the plate.
Tillman ahead 0-2. Just does get a piece to stay alive. Well, they're 9th in the league in team batting, Texas, at 260, and 7th in runs scored. One thing Ron Washington's club does well is hit the home run, 2nd in the league. But they sure do strike out a lot. Here's the 0-2. It's bounced slowly towards third. Mora plays the hop, and he will get Rodriguez for the second out. Texas has struck out 1,066 times, and that is the most in the American League. So you have that many free swingers, big cuts trying to hit the ball out. You'll benefit when you get the home run, but the contrast in that is the strikeout.
Yeah, and it's difficult to prolong innings when you have so many strikeouts. You can't bunch hits together. And this is another guy that strikes out an awful lot, but boy, he's got big time power, and we saw that firsthand last time they were here at Camden Yards.
This is inside to Chris Davis. Davis has struck out 124 times this year, and he has spent part of the year in AAA. He was at one time leading the league in striking out, not anymore. There's a strike, 1-2. All the other players in front of him in strikeouts with more Ks have been with their teams the entire season. 2 outs, none on, 1-0 Texas. And there's a slow chopper past the mound, second base. Brian Roberts has it. He'll get Davis, and Chris Tillman has a very solid 3-up, 3-down inning. Mid-second at Camden Yards, 1-0 Rangers. Well as the home plate umpire, Paul Schreiber.
Yeah, this is a little interesting meeting at this point. And he's going to go talk to his pitcher.
So the discussion going on.
He's going to change his glove, I think. They're talking about the glove being too light. The same color as his uniform. Never make us change his glove. That's a little different. And he's obviously used this glove before. I'm pretty sure that's the same glove he's always used. But it looks like they're going to make him change his glove. And he's going to have to probably talk to another pitcher or something to get a darker glove. But the glove is very, very close in color to his uniform. But that was an interesting meeting. The umpires came over to Washington. Yeah, he's tossed that glove aside. That's exactly what it is. And he's got another glove. Probably feels a little uncomfortable. Paul Schreiber. Talk about it. Look how he's trying to get comfortable with that glove. That's, you know, obviously it happens before. It's quite, well, it's not that common, but I have seen it before because a pitcher will wear a particular glove that serves as a distraction. That's a very lightly colored glove. And now, of course, a lot of people, and that's Jackie Moore, who got 35 years in the big leagues, he probably said, what's the big deal? But yeah, he's got a new glove now and good chance to warm up again, but you don't see that all that frequently. Sometimes you'll see these colored gloves, or red gloves or black gloves with the different spot. I remember Roger Clemens had that gold glove.
Oh, sure.
Remember, it had a big gold webbing on it. He had to change that to anything that might distract the hitter. And once again, the pitchers are always getting legislated against.
There's Luke Scott, Buck takes a strike.
They drop the mound, they shrink the strike zone, they make the ball parts better, and now they take his glove away.
That's just not right. It's kind of amazing it took him an inning to notice. If it was that blatant, you'd think they would have noticed when he first went to the mound.
Well, there was probably an Oriole that mentioned it. And that's generally what it takes, is somebody saying, hey, you know what, I can't see that. Glove's a little odd. You know, you're looking for the release point. That would be over his right shoulder. But you know, that glove is coming at you all the time, and it's serves as a distraction.
0-2 on Scott. Wieters and Morrow will follow. That one's taken high. According to the rule book, Rule 1.15a, the pitcher's glove shall be uniform in color, including all stitching, lacing, and webbing. The pitcher's glove may not be white or gray. When we had a shot of that glove, it looked pretty gray to me.
Well, now it's the retired glove.
There you go.
Put that one on the trophy case.
And there is the traditional color glove. There's his favorite glove, and look how lonely it is on the bench. 1-2 on Scott. Bouncer to second base. Kinsler plays a big hop. Luke Scott down one away in the Orioles second. The other thing that they don't pay a lot of attention to is the outfielders' gloves. They're only allowed to be 12 inches long from the tip to any of the four fingers, not the thumb. And so many of the outfielders have gloves that appear to be much bigger than that because they like to be able to go back and catch that ball running away. Here's Wieters, 1 out, none on. And there's a strike.
We talk about the improvement of Scott Feldman from last year to this year. He's taken off about 40 points in his opponent's batting average against left-handed hitters. And that's the pitch right there that's neutralized the left-handed batters, that cut fastball. You see, it's 92 miles an hour. It's pretty firm. And it's not unlike what Mariano Rivera does. Rivera's is a little flatter and a little sharper breaking than Feldman's.
Wieters takes a strike, 1-2.
But he used to be a side-arming reliever, sinker slider, nothing more. And then Mark Connor, the former pitching coach of the Texas Rangers, suggested he elevate the arm and start to throw cut fastballs just in an effort to salvage his career, basically.
That is a fair ball rolling up the line. Feldman will tag out Wieters. And 2 down as Wieters sounded like he broke his bat. And bounces out to the pitcher. Well, the Orioles and Masson have teamed up to make O's tickets even more affordable for the remainder of the season. Now you can purchase Masson Maximum Access tickets in the upper level of the ballpark for just $1 each for any remaining non-prime home game. Masson Maximum Access tickets are available on a first-come, first-served basis. They must be purchased online at Orioles.com at least 24 hours in advance. $1 tickets are available for the upcoming Rays series, September 14th to 17th. But those tickets are going fast, so don't miss out. Get online, Orioles.com. Melvin Moore now. And there's a breaking ball for a strike. Melvin's had a pretty good homestand, 8 hits, a couple of home runs. Feldman was born in Hawaii, but he grew up in California.
Bay Area of San Francisco, San Mateo, Burlingame. Went to San Mateo Junior College.
Well, Melvin Moore in the Orioles lineup tonight, Buck. We looked at this with Brian Roberts batting third. He has more home runs than any other Oriole. But look at Brian batting third. He and Markakis have the same number of home runs coming into the game tonight. And the difference this year, Melvin has just 6. Roberts has 14.
Well, Brian Roberts just had to step into the third spot with the loss of Adam Jones. And he had a conversation with the manager, Dave Tremblay. And Tremblay asked Brian if he would have any problems hitting third. And Brian admirably said, "I'll do whatever you need." And that's obviously what a manager wants to hear at a time like this. Just trying to put his 2 best hitters back to back. He leaves a big bat like Adam Jones. It's very difficult to replace him. And Brian's the most experienced guy and the first guy you would think about that might slide into that third spot.
3-1 on Mora with 2 outs and none on. Right to the second baseman off the end of the bat. Kinsler's there. Mora's out, and 3 up, 3 down go the Birds in the second. So each pitcher settling in. Feldman and Texas a 1-0 lead.
Speaking about Crowley, he said it was a hard time for me in May when I lost my job, my starting job out in left field, and he said he felt a lot of people turned their back on him, but he said Crowley didn't. He worked with me, he spent a lot of time in the batting cages, and because of him, I'm better. And he said it was that time that he really learned that his family would stick by him, and Terry Crowley, he said he learned that he was his true friend. And one thing we know about Crowley, Jim, is that he does know talent, and he saw it in Felix PA, stuck with him, and was able to harness some of that talent, and we're able to see that now out on the field. Jim?
All right, Amber. Well, no doubt about it. The Crow has confidence in his hitters. He has an approach that he believes if they follow, they'll have a chance to succeed. And PA eventually bought into that. And now we're seeing the success that Terry Crowley felt was there and just needed to be tapped. And PA now is doing that. Here's Omar Vizquel with a 3-0 count. And there's a 4-pitch walk to begin the inning.
After retiring 4 in a row, he wants a number 9 hitter, turn the lineup over. But to finish up the thought that Amber presented, it's a good one because Terry Crowley will work with anybody as long as he sees the effort from the player. And Felix Piet gave him that effort. And early on, even in spring training, Felix was a little reluctant to buy into Terry's approach. But then, of course, he hit rock bottom and he became a very good student. And because of that, now he's turned his season around.
Julio Bourbon, the rookie, tried to bunt his first at bat and popped up. Well, the other day, Terry Crowley allowed us to go into the video coaching room and witness how he helps the hitters by dissecting the videotape to look at good swings and bad swings and what a hitter may or may not be doing. And the players are in there just about every day, sometimes several times a day, to look that over. Then they go into the cage, then they go on the field, and the hope is that's what they bring into the game.
Now, a lot of times players will not realize what they're doing. They can't see it until they see themselves in video. And then they say, well, that's not where my hands are. And Terry says, oh, yes, they are. But no, a lot of people can't really sense for where they are in the batter's box, where they're starting their hands. The best guy on this team, in my estimation, at doing that, knowing his batting stroke, is Nick Markakis. I mean, he's a guy that can fix his stroke and has a real awareness of what he's doing at the plate. Nick is always tinkering with his stance, tinkering with his bat, making minor adjustments. And as he said, I am just a very young hitter. I am just learning how to hit. And boy, if that's not a great sign for this organization and the relationship with Nick Markakis. But I remember the first time I saw videotape, it was in Fort Myers in the probably '73 spring training. Charlie Lau had a big machine. It was huge. He had it on wheels and he ran it out the field. And we all went, Charlie, what is that? And he said, you're going to love this, boys. And certainly, you know, it was a great tool.
It's pretty fascinating, the system the Orioles have. They can call up at-bats against certain pitchers, certain styles. As Bourbon fouls it back. When Crow allowed us in the other day, he had Luke Scott on each side of the screen trying to hit a right-hander's fastball down and away. One not so well, and one he hit out for a home run against Josh Beckett, and everything was, as you said, in the hands.
Yeah, and it's universal now. Just about every club has that great program, and it's all computer-based, and that's what really makes it so effective.
2-2 pitch is fouled back. Bourbon battling here.
When a coach can call up a hitter's batting at bats with all the hits and just reinforce that positive approach, that's really valuable. And Terry's always a positive guy. He always wants to enforce the positive and don't worry too much about the negatives.
2-2 pitch is lined right to Aubrey, who will step on the back for a double play. Well, you couldn't order it up better than that. Right at Aubrey, who was holding the base on Vizquel.
Michael Aubrey is a very good fielding first baseman. He's always been an outstanding fielder. This guy is a former #1 pick. He was picked #1 in 2003 by the Cleveland Indians out of Tulane University in New Orleans. And he's always had a great glove. It'll be interesting to see if he gets a chance to play a little more here in the month of September, just to see how he might factor in the Orioles' plans in the future.
That erases the base runner, Elvis Andrus now. High fly ball to left. Reimold back on it. Has a play on the warning track now and makes the catch. So Andrus comes up short. A walk and none left. Middle of the third. The Rangers with a 1-0 lead. 1-0 Texas on the RBI single in the first by Marlon Byrd. Orioles have had only one base hit through 2 at-bats against Scott Feldman. Feldman has 21 wins in his big league career. 15 have come away from Arlington. 15 wins on the road. He is 2-0 in his career against the Orioles and 2-0 here at Camden Yards.
Well, this is the first year for the pitching coach Mike Maddox, and he has kind of not allowed them to think about pitching in Arlington and complaining about it.
Michael Aubrey, a big bouncer to first, takes a hop on Davis. He'll go to the base unassisted, and 1 down here in the 3rd inning. That's the 5th ground ball out already. Scott Feldman gets Aubrey leading off in the 3rd inning.
And quickly now, Feldman has retired 5 straight. Obviously, with his movement on his fastball, command is important. You see the wins leaders in the American League. CC Sabathia won his 16th here this week. Justin Verlander with 15. Beckett, Feldman, and Felix Hernandez all tied with 14 wins.
Ball 1 to Cesar Astures, batting 9th. Texas shortens up at the corners, even though Cesar has not bunted for a base hit much on the year. There's a strike in the inside corner. Well, Feldman, I guess, just the latest example of if you have talent and you figure out how to use the talent, you can pitch and perform at this level. When Texas drafted him in 2003, their #1 pick that year was John Danks, who they eventually would trade to the White Sox. They got Ian Kinsler in that 2003 draft in the 17th round. And then they got Feldman in the 30th round. I mean, 885 players were selected before he was picked by Texas. But he had the arm, he had the talent, and they finally figured out a way to use it.
Yeah, and it's just a matter of somebody identifying the talent and trying to unlock the secret to what's going to allow him to be successful.
High fly ball right field. He got a lot of it. Nelson Cruz back on it, has a play, and makes the grab. So Cruz back on it and 2 out. And here's Felix Pie batting in the leadoff spot. Brings a 7-game hitting streak into the game.
Well, and Pie has excelled with the bat because he's patient, taking balls and swinging at strikes. It's very difficult to hit when you chase bad balls, but during his 7-game hit streak, he's been outstanding. 11 for 27. That's a .404 average. And he's hit 4 home runs and driven in 7 runs. And he's hit .329 since the All-Star break. And the really impressive aspect of it is he's hit some opposite field home runs. He's stayed on the ball. He's driven balls into the bullpen here at Oriole Park at Camden Yards. And he's hit one down toward the right field line as well. So he's using the whole field.
Swings through the 1-0 pitch. Ball and a strike on PA.
And so much of coaching is all about gaining a player's trust. You can be the greatest coach in the world, and if the player doesn't trust what you're telling him and not willing to work at it, it's not going to work. And Felix certainly turned himself over to Terry Crowley.
There's a bouncer to second base. Kinsler plays the hop. He'll get PA. And the Orioles go 3 up, 3 down for a 2nd consecutive inning. 8 in a row retired by Scott Feldman. 1-0 Rangers. 10 Utah Street, presented by First Fidelity Mortgage. You can team up with fellow Nick Markakis and Adam Jones fans on Saturday, October 3rd for just $21. You get the reserved Utah Street bleacher seat and the exclusive I Live at 2110 Utah Street t-shirt. Every previous 2110 Utah Street game has sold out, so don't wait. Get your tickets for the game coming up on October 3rd, 888-848-BIRD, or online at Orioles.com. As Tillman misses high to Kinsler leading off in the Texas fourth. Bird and Murphy will follow. Fastball misses wide, ball 2. Kinsler walked in the first. High fly ball to left field. He guessed right. He got under it. Reimold in the corner has it for the out and 1 down. Tillman has allowed 10 home runs on the year, and it's kind of interesting, Buck, when you look at the breakdown. But 9 of the 10 home runs have been solo home runs. So if you're going to give them up, which will happen, that's how you like to do it.
Yeah, and I think he's just now trying to throw strikes, and he's not so concerned about locating strikes. I think you can see the difference in his approach compared to Scott Feldman, who's more advanced in his experiences. Feldman is working on the corners. Tillman's just trying to throw strikes right now, and that's okay. I mean, this is only his 8th major league start. You got to get him a chance to get his feet on the ground. And I think Matt Wieters has done the same thing in that he's not asking these young pitchers to make perfect pitches all the time. He's just trying to get them ahead.
1-1 on Marlon Byrd, who drove in the run against Tillman. The only non-solo home run allowed by Tillman was a 2-run home run by Alex Rios when he was still with the Blue Jays in Toronto. Tapper foul, 1-2.
That's just about the last home run Alex Rios has hit. He went to Chicago and he hasn't done a thing for the White Sox.
Marlon Byrd, now 32 years old, broke in with the Phillies, found a home in Texas. Line towards the corner, but slicing foul. He was an infielder when he first came up, and now he's an outfielder and does a very good job.
Now, I'm a firm believer that anybody that makes it to the major leagues has talent, obviously, and there might be a particular fit for him somewhere.
Wow. Okay. Base hit right past Chris Tillman. Marlon Byrd is 2 for 2.
Well, we talk about Byrd all year long. He has worn out the Orioles. He came into this game 3 for his last 30. And already tonight he's got 2 hits.
You don't like to see that. Law of averages creeping in. Here's David Murphy, struck out his first at bat, the only strikeout in the game for Tillman. Marlon Byrd at first runs selectively, but he's been successful. He's 8 out of 10, 8 out of 11 now in stolen base attempts. He was caught to end the first inning. 1-0 on David Murphy. Ground ball to first. Aubrey Fields double punt, goes to second one, back to first, is not in time. Murphy runs well, and the double punt cost Michael Aubrey a precious second.
Yeah, it sure did, and Aubrey had a great chance for a 3-6-1 double play. And watch how he just has that hesitation. The ball's in his glove, but he doesn't get a good grip on it. He waits to make sure he's got it. At least he gets the lead runner. Throw to first base, not in time. But that little bobble cost him, and you can bet he's a little disappointed. That's exactly what he was hoping for.
2 down as Murphy replaces Byrd at first. Here's Nelson Cruz. And Murphy chased back. Texas is 3rd in the American League in stolen bases. That's another aspect of their game that has changed under Ron Washington. They no longer sit back, even though they can hit the home run. They no longer sit back and wait for the home run.
Now, and it took a while for Washington to convince these players that that was a style that would lead them to winning. And now they are 3.5 games behind the Angels for the division lead in the West. When he first came over from Oakland, he had been a very good third base coach and a terrific infield instructor with the Oakland A's. And he was trying to emphasize fundamentals to a team that all they knew how to do was hit. He said, you're going to understand the value of defense, base running, and timely hitting. And it's taken a while, but now they get it.
0-2 on CRUZ. Got to give him a lot of credit, because there was a time not that long ago where it looked like his job might be in jeopardy, but instead of conforming to what he felt the players wanted, he said, no, this is how we're going to play under me, and either you're going to get it or I'm going to be gone. Well, to his credit, he's still here, and they're getting it. 0-2 on CRUZ.
Wild card race, a little bit more of a challenge for Texas as they're trying to track down the Boston Red Sox. Tampa Bay has fallen to 6 behind as they lost 2 of 3 to the Red Sox in St. Petersburg. But the Rangers have an interesting record. We mentioned they have won 9 of the 12 games against the Angels this year, and they have 7 left. That will keep you encouraged.
1-2 on CRUZ. Runner at first, 2 down. Breaking ball low, 2-2. And the Angels just don't play well for whatever reason in Texas.
They don't play well against the West. That's an interesting number. The Angels are just 18-23 in their own division.
2-2 on CRUZ. Good cut, and he fouled it straight back. Of course, the Angels do have the advantage because they're in first place and Texas has to catch them. But with all those games remaining, you have an opportunity to do it simply by beating the team ahead of you. Breaking ball, he checked in time, ball 3. The Angels are 1-5 in Arlington and 2-4 in Anaheim against the Rangers. The only team the Angels have a winning record against in the division is Oakland. Murphy will go on 3-2, and it's low ball 4. So he got ahead of him. No balls and 2 strikes, and Nelson Cruz works the walk. So that might have been a little bit too much nibbling trying to get him to chase, and before you knew it, he was back in the at-bat. How about the starters, though, consistently coming on late here, Buck? Those numbers pretty good on the homestand. 2-1 on the homestand through the first 7 games with a very impressive ERA.
Yeah, to take it back 8 games, they've got a 2.91 ERA over the last 8 games. And there's only been 1 starter over the last 13 that has given up 3 runs or more.
Ivan Rodriguez takes a strike. Has the moon taken over downtown? That was an impressive shot. Look how big. Full moon.
Beautiful. Weather's been terrific throughout this whole homestand.
Ivan Rodriguez grounded out his first at bat. There was a planet visible in the sky next to the moon over the past week. I'm not sure what planet it is, but you could see it every night.
Well, there aren't a whole lot of them.
Well, I get a 1 in 9 shot, and it's not Earth. On the count with 2 men down. Hard hit ball, base hit left field. Reimold charging, Murphy will be sent. Here's Reimold's throw towards the plate. It will not be in time. So base hit by Rodriguez. Texas has a 2-0 lead, and in each inning in which Texas has scored, a walk got the runner in the scoring position.
And Rodriguez has his 5th RBI since coming to the Texas Rangers, and a big 2-out base hit. Just gets that breaking ball and pulls it through the left side. Murphy runs very well and got a good jump off the crack of the bat. He just outruns the throw to the plate.
Rick Kranitz out for a visit with Tillman. So the double play not turned on the double pump by Audrey. Michael Aubrey at first base. Then CRUZ was no balls and 2 strikes. He worked the walk. That got Murphy in the scoring position. And Ivan Rodriguez comes through.
And again, you can see the pitch count, and we're in the 4th inning. And the pitch count starting to elevate. And that's what these younger pitchers are going to have to learn, is just how to eliminate those 20 pitch innings. Just because it'll knock you out of the game early. But even more importantly, when you think about pitchers, the premier pitchers throw 14 to 16 pitches per inning. And you throw 5, 8, 10 more pitches than that, you're going to start to fatigue in that particular inning.
Chris Davis swings through it on 1. Came right at him with a fastball. Davis grounded out to end the 2nd inning.
Davis with 17 home runs, a very good down hitter. He has trouble catching up to the ball up in the zone.
And there's a line drive and a base hit to left center field. CRUZ will score. Ivan Rodriguez going to 3rd. He'll be sent as PA plays it back in. There will be no throw to the plate. And there's a 2-run double for Chris Davis. So Texas has opened up a 4-0 lead in the 4th inning. All the scoring after 2 men down.
And Davis does a good job of staying on that ball. It was up. He stays on it. A 1-strike pitch. It's a fastball. He didn't try to pull it, and that's always been a problem for him, trying to muscle it too much. But he stays right on it, drives it to the power alley in the opposite field. All the way to the wall. CRUZ scores from 2nd, and all the way from first base is Pudge Rodriguez.
So the 11th double. He now has 44 RBIs, does Davis. And here is Omar Vizquel, the number 9 batter. Breaking ball down and in, 1-0. So you don't turn the double play, and then you don't put away the hitter you're 0-2 on. And before you know it, Texas in the race has put 3 runs on the board. One and one on Omar Vizquel. Omar Vizquel is 42 years old. He's been in pro ball since 1984. Chris Tillman, who's on the mound tonight, was born in 1988. Vizquel was beginning his 5th professional season in the Seattle Mariners minor league system after signing out of Venezuela when Chris Tillman was born, and he made his major league debut the following year, April the 2nd, 2 weeks before Tillman turned 1.
You can see, because of that longevity, he's the active leader in games played, ahead of one of his former teammates, Ken Griffey Jr.
Ball and a strike on him. Check swing. And it's outside. Wieters asks for an appeal. Schreiber doesn't ask. Kind of amazing, though. That's the one thing about baseball. If you can still play, you can hang around, and if you're good enough to get up here young, you can participate. There's a bloop foul down the left side. Reimold over, but he won't get there.
Well, Vizquel's very important because he understands at this point of his career his role. Obviously, you can see he keeps himself in very good shape. He was brought in here to serve as a mentor for the young shortstop, Elvis Andrus. And when Andrews had some problems and he scuffled and had some doubts, he put Vizquel in for a couple of days, let the kid take a breather, and then put him back out there.
2-2 the count with 2 down. And he got it. So Vizquel down on strikes. That ends the inning, but a big inning for Texas as the Rangers push across 3. Middle of the 4th, the Rangers with a 4-0 lead.
post-game fun at the Bud Light Warehouse Bar on Utah Street. Jim?
All right, Amber, thanks very much. And a youngster at the game tonight as he looks in over the scoreboard on the flat court. Having a good time. Hey, I'm on TV. Nolan Reimold leads off. Orioles have only one base hit, and Reimold has it. He singled with one down in the first inning. That's the only base runner that Feldman has allowed through 3 innings. Roberts and Markakis will follow. 1-1 on Reimold. Feldman has allowed 15 home runs on the year, but he has only allowed 1 over his last 6 starts. 1-1 is popped up. Breaking ball. Rodriguez over. Here comes Vizquel, and Pudge Rodriguez has it for the out and 1 down. Well, Buck was talking about the improvement of the Rangers and why they are in contention in September, and here's the major difference. 58 wins by starting pitchers on this staff. That is the most in the American League. In contrast, the Orioles have only 36 wins from their starters. That is the fewest in the American League.
Every year when you look at the postseason teams, you can look at their starters' decisions, and they will be among the leaders. When your starters are getting the decisions, there's a couple of things that happen. Ron Washington knows the value of that is you don't expose the underbelly of your bullpen. You don't have to go to those guys in the middle. You go to the setup guy, you go to the closer, because the pitchers are pitching longer. Starter decisions, the Kansas City Royals have 100, and obviously a lot of those are losses. And Texas is right there at 98, but Texas has the wins, and that's what you're looking for. Your starters to get decisions. That cutter hit him right on the hand.
So Brian Roberts will take the base.
Might have hit Pudge too. The deflection off of Roberts hit Rodriguez somewhere. I'm not sure where, and he's going to get some attention from the trainer as well. This is a cut fastball. Right in on the hands. That might have caught Pudge on the side of the mask. He turns his head as that ball is deflected off Roberts' hand. That's the one thing catchers never want to do, is turn your head, because you are protected when you're looking straight ahead. But anytime you get your head sideways, you're going to expose the side of your head, and he's pointing to the left side of his head. It caught the mask, but I think because he was at an angle when that ball hit him, it might have taken that ear guard and just slammed it into the side of his head.
Well, he's got a big smile. He's going to walk it off and take a few extra seconds to get his bearings.
Yeah, and you watch it as that ball hits Roberts and then caught Pudge. You see how Pudge turned his body and got his head angled. That ball came in. He didn't expect it to be deflected off of Roberts, and then caught him on the ear guard side of that mask and kind of kicked the mask sideways. But for all you young catchers, the one thing you don't want to do is flinch and turn your head, because you are most protected when you're looking straight at the pitcher. You see he's pointing to that ear flap, that ear guard. It extends to the side of that mask.
Richie Bancells came out to check on Brian Roberts while they were tending to Pudge Rodriguez, but Brian's okay, so he'll stay on at first base. Just the second Orioles base runner in this game. Nick Markakis now popped up foul to Ivan Rodriguez to end the first inning. And takes high at 1-0. Markakis would have to have a strong finish, but he does have an outside shot at 200 base hits. He needs 34 hits over the remaining games. Most RBIs with fewer than 20 home runs, and Nick leads that list. 90 RBIs, 8th best in the league. There's strike 1-1.
Now, he has got such a determined approach at the plate. He doesn't give in to anyone. He doesn't give any bats away. He battles and battles, and Don't have to look any further back than the Andy Pettit perfect game / no-hitter as Markakis broke it up in the 7th inning with a base hit to left.
Fly ball right field. There's CRUZ, and he makes the catch going back on it. Roberts halfway back to first and 2 down. So a hard hit ball, but right at the right fielder. 2 down in the Oriole 4th. Here's Luke Scott. Luke grounded out to second base his first at bat. He was just 1 for 11 in the Yankee series and 0 for 1 here tonight. Luke Scott is another player that I think the Orioles are going to have to make some kind of a decision on, because you like his power and you like his work ethic, but the streakiness of his production at the plate, if you're a team that hopes to make the next step and move forward, does Luke become a part-time player, or does maybe he figure it out where he's a bit more consistent?
Well, when you get a few years of consistent at-bats, pretty much that's the player you're going to see over his career.
Roberts runs, pitches outside, throw to second base. The tag, he is out at second base. Joe West made sure that Andrews held on to the ball, so Brian Roberts is caught trying to steal, and that ends the inning. Hit batsman and none left. Pudge Rodriguez with a perfect throw, and the Orioles go down in the 4th. All franchises have never been to the World Series. Texas is one.
Texas is one. Montreal's another. Montreal / Washington.
Seattle?
Yeah.
Seattle has never been.
No.
Trying to see. Well, that's 3.
San Diego's been.
Dodgers certainly. Giants certainly. Colorado has. Arizona has.
Yeah.
Florida has.
Detroit.
Tampa Bay now has.
Both Chicago's. Tampa Bay.
Boston, New York, Baltimore, Philadelphia. Cincinnati has. The Indians have.
I think we got it, partner.
I think that's it. I think 3.
The
Pirates have.
Well, of course, the Brewers were there in, 82. They played the Cardinals.
Tillman gets a strike in there. 2-2 on Bourbon leading off. Kansas City has. Minnesota has. Yeah, I think it's 3. And we'll find out soon. Breaking balls outside. 3-2. We're waiting for drama. Bourbon, Andrews, and Kinsler for Texas in the 5th. 4-0 game. Fouled straight down at the plate. Count holds 3-2 on the rookie Bourbon, playing in his 20th game in the big leagues, facing CRUZ TILLMAN, making his 8th major league start.
And Dave Tremblay has seen some positives with these young pitchers, and certainly would like to see a little more consistency.
Pop foul, that'll be in the crowd over the Texas dugout.
Mike Maddox was asked what the difference is with his team and how he has been able to turn it around with basically the same people that pitched here before. And one thing he didn't do, he didn't dwell on the past. When he came over to find out about this team, he just talked about the future. But he said you have to command your fastball. And you have to command your fastball, you have to be able to change speeds, and you have to throw 3 pitches. A minimum of 3 pitches in the major leagues. And I think that's the biggest hurdle that this young team, the Orioles pitchers, need to do is command their fastball. Once they do that, then you dictate the entire at bat.
3-2 pitch, sky to center field, not that deep, PA in on it, and he has it for the out and 1 away. Let's get the answer to the trivia contest. How many of the current Major League Baseball franchises have never been to the World Series? And the answer is 3. Texas, Seattle, and Washington/Montreal.
It's our first one we've got right.
We're ending strong. Ending strong.
Texas was in the playoffs in the late 90s, but they always went up against the Yankees, and the Yankees dispatched them very quickly.
Ball 1 taken by Elvis Andrus. Battle of 21-year-olds here. Andrus with a single now is a 7-game hitting streak, and he's got another base hit. So Andrus is 2 for 3.
Texas made a pretty big gamble when they gave Andrus the job at shortstop. They moved the veteran Michael Young from shortstop to third base, and initially Young didn't want to do it. And he at one time had demanded to be traded. And then they had some conversations. Ron Washington convinced him that the defense would be much improved, and boy has it been. They have cut down their defensive errors marginally by a huge number, and they've done it both at shortstop and third base. Andrews has terrific range and a strong arm. Michael Young has really done a great job at third base, and you got to give Michael Young a lot of credit. He has moved all over the place for him. Went from short to second when A-Rod came to Texas, and now he's moved from short to third.
It's kind of an amazing situation for Michael Young, because overall he's probably their best hitter. Maybe others will hit for power, but he's without a doubt their best overall hitter. And yet other players have caused the Rangers to believe they're better if he moves his position defensively. He's the best hitter on the team. There's a strike, 1-1.
Yeah, and he's probably slowed a bit at shortstop, but he has played second base. And now Kinsler, who also was a shortstop, played at Arizona with Dustin Pedroia. Arizona State, excuse me. I don't want either one of them mad at me for that. But yeah, they've moved around and they've improved the defense, and that's the goal. You know, just put the best defensive team out there.
1-1 pitch is line foul. Well, he was a shortstop, Michael Young, as a young player coming up through the Blue Jays system, and when he was traded to Texas, he was a Double-A player because he was blocked by, in particular, Cesar Torres was there ahead of him on the depth chart. And then he was traded away, and then he was a shortstop at Texas. They got Alex Rodriguez, so he moved to second. Then they got Alfonso Soriano, so he moved back the other way. And now he's at third base because of Andrews. High fly ball to center field off the bat of Kinsler. PA's got to play. Has it for the out, 2 down. Andrews bluffs to draw a throw. He'll stay at first base. Attention to youth sports teams, players, and coaches. You can call the Orioles today and get your team signed up for Youth Sports Day. It comes your way Sunday, September 20th here at Oriole Park with the Red Sox in town. Your football, lacrosse, field hockey, basketball, baseball, or any sports team can take part in a pregame parade around Oriole Park's field and enjoy great group pricing on the tickets. 888-848-BIRD or online Orioles.com.
That truly is the last day of summer.
Yes.
September 20th, come out, walk around the ballpark, and get a chance to walk on the field before the game.
Marlon Byrd, a perfect night, 2 for 2 with an RBI. You know, it's a credit to Michael Young with his versatility, certainly, but it's also a credit to the organization to feel that if they can take care of 2 positions at once, as Roberts will flip to Astores to get Andrews, and there's the final out. So base hit, the man left mid-fifth on a beautiful Friday night, 4-0 Rangers. Tone glove, and the webbing and the rest of the glove different.
Not a pitcher.
Not a pitcher.
Yep.
Scott Wieters more for the Birds in the 5th. Rich Scott trying to bunt against the shift, and he fouled it off. Not as dramatic a shift against Scott that Texas plays, but Vizquel is still well wide of the bag at third. There's Kinsler, and the shortstop is still on the shortstop side of the bag.
Yeah, they're playing him to pull, but not as dramatic as some of the other teams we have seen against Luke Scott. And obviously, leading off an inning, if you can get on board, you might start a little rally here.
Check swing. Field at third. No swing, says Ed Rapuano. Now, if you're going to try that once, why not again? Maybe you don't feel comfortable after a foul ball.
Well, he doesn't do it a lot, but certainly 1-1 count, and the way Feldman throws a lot of strikes, it's not a bad idea.
High pop-up, shallow left. Vizquel back out on it, and the third baseman has it. And one away here in the 5th inning. Well, don't forget tomorrow against Texas, it'll be a nationally televised game as Fox will be in town. You can catch all the Orioles on your local Fox affiliate or follow the game along with Rock Kabako and Steve Molesky by visiting MASNsports.com. We'll be back with you on Sunday afternoon at 1 o'clock with those extra presented by AT&T. The final game of the series back here on MASN 2. And of course, tomorrow you can also turn on the radio and listen to Joe and Fred on the Orioles Radio Network. Wieters fouls it off 1-1.
I think this is a great study and really the essence of pitching. When you look at Scott Feldman and comparing to the young Chris Tillman. Tillman throws harder. He's got a more dramatic breaking ball and pretty good changeup. But because Feldman is throwing a lot of strikes with movement on every pitch and everything is in the strike zone, you haven't seen as many good swings against Feldman as you have against Tillman.
Wieters fouls it back.
Because he's thrown so many strikes, the Oriole hitters have to expand their strike zone. you anticipate a strike, so it gets you in a swing mindset. Tillman, on the other hand, has been behind. Texas Rangers can be very selective, and they condense their strike zone.
1-2 to Wieters is hit towards the middle. There's a base hit. He didn't get the good part of the bat on it, but the defense was playing in the pull. So Wieters is on with a 1-out single. The Orioles' second base hit.
Matt is so strong. He can muscle the ball, and that's exactly what he did. He went upstairs. This ball was up. And remember, Terry Crowley told his hitters that Feldman will try to elevate that cut fastball, and sometimes with 2 strikes especially, you're going to have to go upstairs and try to get on top of it. That's what Matt Wieters did right there.
And Wieters 1 out of 2. That gets Melvin Mora up. Second hit, third base runner for the Orioles against Feldman. Strike 1 to Melvin. Melvin has 2 home runs on the homestand, 6 on the year. See the infield, Kinsler now playing more towards the middle for possible double play ball. Wieters is not a stolen base threat at first base. And it's bounced foul behind Juan Samuel.
You know, oftentimes we talk about double play depth, and we don't do a good job of explaining what that means. Obviously, you can see the shortstop about 3 strides in from the grass. Same with the second baseman. What that does is it gets them closer to the bag. So if they get a ground ball on the infield, the path to the bag is not that long. You can see he's 12-15 feet in front of the grass cutout there on the back of the infield.
The 0-2 to Moore is too tight. A ball and 2 strikes on Melvin. Feldman, as Buck mentioned, has been very pitch efficient. He's not even up to 60 yet as he works here in the 5th inning. Wieters being held at first by Chris Davis. 1 down. Ground ball past the mound. Kinsler charges. Wieters has not been tagged yet. He'll have to be tagged, and he is out at second base. So Kinsler did a very good job. Once Wieters stopped, he got the out at first to get Mora. So the reverse double play gets Feldman out of it. A base hit and none left as the Birds go down in the 5th. 4-0 Texas. Friday night, and the fans out there in the bullpen picnic area looking out over the bullpens. And a 4-0 Rangers lead. 3 runs in the 4th inning for Texas after 2 men down. And a beautiful full moon. What a gorgeous night for baseball. Here's David Murphy as we go to the 6th. And there's a strike, 0-1. Murphy, Cruz, and Rodriguez. Murphy reached on a fielder's choice and scored in the 4th inning. Well, back at 0-2.
And here's where Tillman needs to be aggressive. He got an 0-2 count on Nelson Cruz back in the 4th inning, and Cruz eventually walked, and that began a 3-run rally. Ooh, that's a good pitch. Down and away, tough pitch to lay off of, and in this situation, starting the 6th inning, you can see the pitch efficiency is pretty good, except for that 4th inning.
And had that double play been turned, that would have been a totally different inning.
Sure. And Michael Aubrey, a little bit of a bobble. They got 1, but not 2. And that just kind of prolonged the inning. Murphy's the one that hit that ball right at the first baseman.
And Murphy down on strikes. So there's the 3rd strikeout for Chris Tillman. And it comes leading off here in the 6th as Murphy goes down.
Well, Tillman got ahead 0-2 and then threw 2 good fastballs away, and he makes Murphy think it's a swing. So he's got to go after it and protect the strike zone. And Tillman did a nice job. 2 fastballs away and then the hook for the strikeout.
There's Nelson Cruz, who had probably the key at bat in that 4th inning as he drew a walk after David Murphy reached on the fielder's choice. He was no balls and 2 strikes and eventually worked the walk.
Yeah, this is the biggest difference in the hitters that Tillman and Mattis and Birkin and Hernandez are all facing, is that they don't swing at pitches until they get strikes. They just don't. They know how difficult it is in the big leagues to hit strikes, and they certainly aren't going to try to chase balls. And if you fall behind, you're going to be pitching in these hitter counts, and you're going to get your brains beat out. I don't care how good you are, how much stuff you have. You've got to pitch ahead. You've got to dictate the at-bats with your fastball command.
So Kranitz knows all about that, the fastball command. High fly ball to left or right off the bat of Cruz. Markakis back. It's over his head, and it's gone. It just got over the scoreboard onto the flag court. So Nelson Cruz going the other way, his 31st home run. And it's 5-0 Texas in the 6th. Wow, is that power?
Well, he's a big, strong man, and he has seen a lot of pitches, and he's got power, obviously, to the opposite field. A 2-1 pitch. Down and away, and look at the extension. It just stays on it, doesn't stride at all, just uses his hands to get the barrel through the zone, and he hits it above the scoreboard onto the flag court.
So the 10th solo home run allowed on the year by Chris Tillman gives Texas a 5-0 lead. Breaking ball outside to Ivan Rodriguez, 1-0. Clay Meredith now getting loose for the Birds. And it's fouled back. Orioles with a 10-man bullpen with the 3 call-ups when the roster's expanded on September 1st. Rodriguez 1 for 2 with that RBI single. Good pitch there. He couldn't reach it. Rodriguez drove in a run with a single in the 4th inning. That came around to score on the Davis double. Goes the other way with it, slicing down the line, and that is foul.
I really think Chris Tillman's going to be an exceptional pitcher, and you have to remember this is only his 8th major league start. Driving through that front side, he really got the fastball in a good spot to Rodriguez, down and away. And there's a learning curve, obviously, and it takes everybody a while to go through that.
Ground ball wide of the bag at first. Michael Aubrey will flip to Tillman, who gets there ahead of the hustling Pudge Rodriguez, and 2 men down. Well, talk about the learning curve as Alberto Castillo has joined Clay Meredith. Feldman, who this year is having his first breakout year, is working in his 129th major league game, and it's his 50th big league start. And here's Tillman on the other end of that, as Buck mentioned, just his 8th major league appearance and start. And the only way you know is to get here and get a reference point.
Yeah, and obviously this has been a great learning process for them. Take a look at this last pitch. Got the curveball and the ground ball, and then he has to cover the bag and got over there in pretty good shape. But Aubrey gives him a good feed. He beat Rodriguez to the bag.
Davis fouls it off on 1. Davis drove in 2 with a 2-out double in the 4th inning. He's 1 out of 2. There's the high fastball Buck referred to. He couldn't reach it.
Yeah, when you elevate it up, he has a tough time laying off of it. A tougher time catching up to it.
No balls and 2 strikes, 2 outs, and the base is empty. High and away, 1 and 2. Tillman has had just 1 3-up, 3-down inning. That was in the 2nd. He had a 3-batter inning in the 3rd because a double play erased a leadoff walk.
Late on another fastball. Tillman, we mentioned his 8 starts. This is just the 8th start of his major league career. He has gone up against some pretty tough opponents. The opponents he has faced have combined for a 90-48 record this year. Greinke, Verlander among the guys that he has pitched against. But at the same time, it's a pretty good opportunity to gauge yourself against some of the best in the game.
From 0-2 to 2-2 on Davis. And he got him. Off-speed pitch. Davis down on strikes. And the inning ends. CRUZ with a home run. Rangers add to their lead mid-6th. 5-0 Texas.
Jonathan Papelbon, he was fined $5,000 for slow pace of game. That's interesting. There is a rule that says you have 2 minutes and 20 seconds rather to start an inning once it begins. And CC Sabathia has been named AL Pitcher of the Month for August. Jim?
All right, Amber, thanks very much. So Brady Sizemore looks like he's going to have some time to get back on the man. Michael Aubrey first ball swinging to Elvis Andrus, who gets it the first. And on 1 pitch, there's 1 down. So Feldman getting another quick out.
Well, the Papelbon fine is an interesting one. He was fined $5,000, as Amber pointed out, and it was because he did not deliver the pitch in a timely manner on Tuesday. And he'd been warned about this in the past. You know, all of his histrionics, and then drama, and he comes out and he delays the game, and the league has warned him before. And it's part of the pace of game rules by Major League Baseball, and they have finally fined him, and he says he's going to try to make an adjustment to the rule, but he comes out of the bullpen and takes so much time, and the time begins the last out of the previous half inning, and it's just not in a timely manner, and he was fined because of it.
Well, he also takes a lot of time in between pitches as well because of the routine he goes through, in particular the scowl as he looks towards the hitter. There's Torres. 2-0 the count. Let's check back in with Amber.
Jim, I did want to mention some Orioles news. Dennis Sarfate told reporters today that he's going to go to Mexico to play winter ball. He needs to get that arm strength back. He was throwing 97 miles an hour last year. Now, after the surgery and the issues he's had, he was about at 88 in his last outing, so he will head to Mexico. Jim?
All right, Amber, thanks. As Torres works a 4-pitch walk, and there's Dennis Sarfate in the Orioles bullpen.
Well, that's great news. A little initiative by Dennis to get back up to Major League speed, and you go to winter ball, and certainly if you miss time, it's important. And I just love the competition of winter ball. No matter where you play, it's very spirited. Felix Pié is another guy that's going to play in the Dominican Republic, going to play for Licey in the Dominican Republic, and an opportunity to take advantage of everything he's learned under the watchful eye of Terry Crowley. I would like to see more major leaguers go down and play winter ball, especially guys like PA who don't get 450, 500 at bats. And the leagues aren't quite as competitive as they were years ago. The Orioles always had a great relationship with the Santurce in Puerto Rico. In fact, Jim Palmer pitched there. Frank Robinson managed there. There were always a lot of Orioles there. I actually played and was a teammate of Terry Crowley's for Santurce early on in the 70s, and it's great competition, and that's why I believe that so many of the Latin players are well advanced because of their ability to play winter ball.
You know, it is interesting as PA takes ball 2, that's 6 in a row out of the strike zone. There's the mindset that, well, it's a long year, you got to rest, you got to shut it down, but the position players that go down there and play, they seem to really take advantage of it because of the experiences gained. It kind of shortens the learning curve.
Well, it sure does, especially if you're in competition for a starting job. You come into spring training and you get off to a great start. You can catch a coach's or manager's eye and win a job because of the benefits of playing winter ball. Dave Joust will manage that Licey team in the Dominican Republic, and I believe he's managed 7 years in winter ball and actually taken a couple of teams to the Caribbean World Series.
3-0 on PA, who should be taking here with the Orioles down 5-0. And he does, and it's back-to-back 4-pitch walks. And Mike Maddox is going to come out and have a chat here in the 6th inning with Scott Feldman, who has been cruising along.
Well, one thing that Maddox has always talked to his pitchers about is controlled command. He believes that if you take your head towards your target, your pitches are going to follow. And he wants his pitchers to repeat the delivery. He doesn't get too technical with the mechanics. It's more about the philosophy of changing speeds, using all your pitches to throw strikes, and taking your head toward the target. He comes by that philosophy in an honest fashion, in that his brother, the great Greg Maddox, always talked about aim. You got to have good aim to pitch. And the pitch count is well within reason, certainly exceptional. A couple of single-digit innings.
Well, you mentioned Maddox believes in fastball command. I can imagine the pitchers' meetings in spring training. All right, my brother was the best in the business at commanding the fastball. He's going to the Hall of Fame. Why don't we try to do that here?
Yeah, and you know what? He has developed a very good reputation on his own right, having been the pitching coach in Milwaukee for 6 years before this year.
And here's Nolan Reimold. And he takes a look. 9 in a row out of the strike zone. With only 1 down, the Orioles looking to take advantage here. Back-to-back walks. There's Torres at second, PA at first. Good speed out there for the Birds. And there's a strike. Fastball right in there, and Reimold taking as he should.
Well, Reimold understands exactly how you hit in these situations. You need to get some more base runners on, so he's going to get a good pitch to hit before he chases anything from Feldman.
And there's a bouncer towards third. Vizquel plays the short hop. Second one, no throw back to first. So the force on PA at second base. Reimold reaches on the fielder's choice and 2 men down.
Vizquel playing third base, just his 4th start of the season. They get PA. Good hard slide by Felix to make sure that Kinsler can't make a return throw to first. Vizquel on the money, and there's PA busting up the double play. Neftali Feliz, the latest power phenom to come into the big leagues, and he's got a big arm.
Here's Brian Roberts for his 3rd plate appearance. He is batting 3rd tonight for the first time in his career. He's also batted cleanup once in his career. Fouls it off. Brian was hit by a pitch, then caught trying to steal in the 4th inning. He's also struck out. But Rodriguez is out in front of the plate. He's signaling the middle infielders what he will do if Reimold breaks for second base. With his Turris on at 3rd and Reimold at 1st.
Yeah, I don't expect Reimold to run in this situation, being down by 5 with your number 3 hitter up. That Scott Feldman wasn't so sure.
There's his Turris at 3rd and Reimold at 1st with 2 men down. Roberts takes high 1-1. That move 3rd to 1st, Steve Busby was probably the best at that. He's broadcasting for Texas. So if they ever need a refresher, they just need Buzz to go down on the field and say, hey, how'd you used to do it?
Yeah, he had a terrific move. He first came up with Kansas City and surprised everybody by it. I remember one game he picked off Orioles' Pat Kelly twice in the same game.
Two and 1 on Roberts. Orioles trying to get something on the board here in the 6th inning. And it's a low strike call. 2-2. Roberts thought he had ball 3.
Obviously, when a pitcher's struggling with his control that Feldman has been in this inning, you have a pretty good idea. You want to take a good look at it, and Roberts felt that was out of the strike zone.
Well, 2-2 with 2 down. Runners take their leads. Grounded foul, nearly hit his Turris, who was taking his lead in foul territory. Roberts has 62 RBIs. He's cooled off at the plate on this homestand. 2-2 with 2 down and 2 on. There's a line drive to right. That's going to get down for a base hit. The Orioles get on the board. So as Turris comes in, and the Orioles are able to take advantage of the 2 walks, as Brian Roberts in a very good at-bat drives in a run, and the Orioles on the board.
Roberts couldn't afford to take anything close after getting a close pitch called for a strike, and he hammers that ball into right field. First run of the game for the Orioles, and as Jim mentioned, 2 walks in the inning contributing to that rally.
So Feldman will try again to get the final out of the inning, and now Nick Markakis at the plate. Long ball here, and the Birds are back in it. Markakis is 0 for 2. He has popped foul to the catcher, Ivan Rodriguez, and flied out to right on a ball hit hard. Markakis takes strike 1. Nick has 8 home runs since the All-Star break, and 33 of his 90 RBIs have come since the break. Orioles have only 3 hits in this game off Feldman. All 3 hits singles. Check swing and appeal to third. He did not go. So Ed Rapuano. Close pitch, and Markakis got the call.
Yeah, that's the ball that you have to lay off of. He tries to elevate the fastball. Markakis is all loaded up, but didn't offer it to pitch. Need to make him bring it down a bit before it comes into play.
Reimold and Roberts second and first with 2 down. Good eye takes outside.
We've talked about Markakis' ability to manage his own approach at the plate. He has gotten on the plate, gotten closer to the plate, and because of that, he has a pretty good idea that he can handle anything inside, and if it looks away to him, then it's really off the plate.
2-1 is low, ball 3. Potential tying run is on deck. And 3-1 on Markakis. There's Luke Scott, hoping for a chance here in the 6th inning. Three balls and 1 strike on Markakis. Grounded foul sharply down the line. And Nick checking out the bat there to make sure he didn't break it.
Well, and that's why Feldman has been able to keep the Orioles to just 3 hits. Even with a 3-1 count, he's able to make a quality pitch with that cut fastball. Looks like a strike, starts out in the strike zone and it breaks off the plate inside, but it looks very inviting. And we'd mentioned how he improved his numbers dramatically from last year to this year, reducing the left-handed batter's opponent's average.
Reimold and Roberts will be off with the pitch. 3-2 with 2 men down as the Orioles bat here in the 6th inning. The 3-2 is popped up. Right side of the infield, Davis and Kinsler. Kinsler calls, and the second baseman has it for the out. Orioles get a run, but Strand 2 will head to the 7th. 5-1 Texas.
And then Brian Roberts delivers a 2-out base hit to right field to drive home Cesar Asturias, who had walked with 1 out. Scott Feldman, 6 innings, 1 earned run allowed, just 3 hits, a couple of walks and a single strikeout. Chris Tillman, 6 innings, 5 earned runs, 7 hits, 3 walks and 4 strikeouts, and his day has come to an end as he has given way to Alberto Castillo, the left-hander, to come in here to start the 7th inning.
Castillo was with the Orioles earlier this year and then came back up on the rosters expanded on September the 1st. He'll go against Omar Vizquel, who will bat right-handed and takes high 1-0. Bourbon, a left-hander, is on deck, and then 3 straight right-handed batters. And Clay Meredith is still getting loose. He was up with Castillo. A little bit low, ball 2. Vizquel has walked and struck out. The Rangers keep their eye on the scoreboard. 2 games of interest to them tonight. The Angels are in Kansas City, and the Red Sox are in Chicago against the White Sox. There's a line drive to left, and that's going to fall base hit. Omar Vizquel is on with a leadoff single in the Texas 7th inning. Boston is trailing 4-0 to Chicago. Mark Kotsay, who the Red Sox designated for assignment and then traded to Chicago, has homered against Boston. So it is 4-0 White Sox in the 3rd. The Angels game is scoreless.
Paul Bird against Freddie Garcia. Bird for the Red Sox won his first game last time out. Freddie Garcia looking for his first win. 0-2 so far.
Julio Bourbon, tapper back to the mound. Castillo goes to second out there. That's all they'll get, but they do get the lead runner. And 1 down in the 7th inning. Fans, the Orioles and the Orioles' wives have teamed up with the Maryland SPCA to create a very special souvenir for host fans. You can pick up your copy of the 2010 Orioles pet calendar. That's right, inside you'll enjoy 16 months of your favorite Orioles players, their pets, and some very lovable dogs and cats from the SPCA. Proceeds will benefit the Maryland SPCA and their work with local homeless pets. So to get your Orioles pet calendar, visit Orioles.com today. And a worthy cause there. So Alberto Castillo brought on to face the switch hitter and the lefty. And here comes Clay Meredith. They'll let her at 1.
Another infraction of Rule 1.15a, according to Mr. Hunter. That glove. 2 different colors, the dark laces, the tan glove, and he's going to have to get another glove. So
Joe West is on glove patrol tonight.
No, it's not Joe West. It's 2 managers. Ron Washington said, well, we lost Feldman's glove early, so I'm not going to let that go on. And so it's back and forth, and now we've got it all sorted out.
Gamesmanship. Rudy Jaramillo, the hitting coach, talking with Ron Washington. So Clay Meredith had one of the bat boys go back to his locker and get the other glove.
Meredith making his 19th appearance for the Orioles. He has not pitched since Tuesday. He came in the game Tuesday in that Yankee game. Pitched the 9th inning, gave up a couple hits, struck out 2 batters, no runs.
Elvis Andrus batting with Julio Bourbon at first. Bourbon can absolutely fly. He's stolen 11 bases in his first 19 games in the big leagues.
And caught just once.
Throw behind him, and he gets back in.
Matt Reeder's getting a little more confident with his throwing. We've seen him throw behind runners a little more frequently. He made a good throw earlier in the game to throw out Marlon Byrd. That came in the first inning on the back end of a double steal.
Runner goes, pitch is taken, throw to second, not nearly in time. So Bourbon steals another. There's number 12.
He got a good jump at first base, and he removes the opportunity for the Orioles to turn a double play. Good acceleration, couple strides in, he's full speed, and no chance at all. The ball was on the first base side of second, but it was after the fact.
And there's a 4-pitch walk to Elvis Andrus. So down to first base goes Andrus, 2 on with 1 out. Meredith now with a ground ball might be able to get a double play as Ian Kinsler comes up. Kinsler has put the ball in play twice tonight. Fly balls, one to left, one to center. And it's high, 1-0.
Well, pretty good pitch right there, and you could see Meredith looking in, wondering where that pitch was. He threw that crossfire fastball, looked like it caught the outside corner.
Well, Schreiber has the plate tonight. Fouled straight down to the plate, 1-1. Texas scored in the first, 1 run, 3 in the fourth, 1 in the sixth. The Orioles got their lone run in the bottom of the sixth. Bourbon and Andrus on with 1 down in the seventh. Here's a chopper off the foot that bounces out near the mound. Orioles bullpen has struggled on this homestand. Trying to keep this as is, and it is already a 4-run lead for Texas.
Yeah, the bullpen has given up 26 runs in the last 23 2/3 innings. This is an ERA almost 10 after a real good stretch. Matt Albers starts to loosen up behind Clay Meredith.
1-2 pitch is a little bit outside, 2-2. And again, he fouls it off.
Now that's that sweeping breaking ball. Meredith uses that effectively to right-handers when he can get it away from him. He struck out Jerry Houston on Tuesday night, leading off the 9th inning with that pitch that starts on the outer half and breaks sharply away.
Ball 3. Texas has had some very good at-bats tonight when getting down on the count early, working it back in their favor. High fly ball to left. Reimold and PA towards left center. Reimold is there at the wall. PA leaps in front of him and makes the catch. Reimold had that ball all the way, and PA just leaped in front of him and grabbed it for the out.
A terrific catch by Felix PA, and he has the advantage of being left-handed. He can reach up and extend high over the wall. I don't know that Nolan Reimold would have caught that. But look at PA reach high above Reimold's glove. He had timed his jump perfectly and made a fine catch to rob Kinsler of a home run. That would have been the nail in the coffin right there. 3-run home run. He brings it back in the ballpark.
And watching on the replay, it didn't look as if PA called him off. Of course, the center fielder grabs anything he can get, and PA got there and he grabbed it. Bourbon tagged and went to third, and the runner Andrus from first tagged and went to second.
Yeah, in a play like that, you don't have time to call for it. Everybody's going for it, both outfielders. They knew it was going to be close to being out of the ballpark, and PA just reached over the glove, timed his jump, and made a good catch.
Marlon Byrd fouls it back. Bird's had a good night, 2 hits and RBI. Texas at 75 and 58. They've won 3 in a row. Good off speed pitch, 1-2. White Sox now with a 7-0 lead. Kotsay 2 for 2 with a home run against his former team.
Paul Baird not enjoying the same success he had in his first outing, obviously.
A 5-run bottom of the third, breaking that one open early. Kotsay has 3 RBIs already in that game. So Texas hoping to win here and gain on Boston. Check swing, and it's outside. The Rangers really are invigorated by turning the calendar in September and having games to play for that mean something in the standings. It's been quite a while for Texas.
1999, last time they were in the playoffs. The irony of that is Pudge Rodriguez was on that team as well.
No, 2-2 on Bird. Texas tonight is beginning a road trip. They have 3 here, and then they go to Cleveland for 3. 2-2 pitches hit towards third. Melvin Moore charges. Tough play. He'll have to hurry, and he got it there just in time as Bird hustled down the line. 7th inning stretch brought to you by Jack Daniel's Tennessee Whiskey. Please drink responsibly.
But at the same time, it's an opportunity to get an extended look at Felix PA. We saw him play against the left-hander the other day, got a couple of hits against CC Sabathia, and he looks very comfortable defensively in center field.
Yeah, and that's a big play because the Orioles are down by 4 anymore, and it might be difficult to come back. But now with 3 more at-bats, Birds still have a chance in this one against Feldman.
Yeah, and Scott Feldman had a little bit of a rough inning in the 6th, and he'll be anxious to have a smoother inning here as he misses with that first pitch curveball.
Luke Scott, Matt Wieters, and Melvin Moore coming up here in the 7th inning for the Birds. Feldman has allowed only the 1 run on 3 hits, and he misses outside, and it took back-to-back walks on 8 pitches in the 6th to get the Orioles a runner in the scoring position, and Brian Roberts drove in that run with a 2-out single. Luke is 0 for 2 on the night. He has grounded out and popped up to third. Fouls it off.
Well, one thing in the changing philosophy of the Texas Rangers is that they ask their starters to go deeper in the game. And in the 6th inning, Feldman looked like he was just about out of the ball game, but he bounced back, stranded a couple of runners, even though he yielded a run. But he's back out here to pitch the 7th. Mike Maddox, Nolan Ryan have gotten together and challenged the starters to get in better shape, throw more strikes, be more efficient with their pitches, and pitch deeper into the game. I think there are 29 organizations keeping an eye on the Texas Rangers to see how this philosophy has worked out for them. Certainly in the short term, they have pitched very well.
Two and two on Scott. And he got him. So Luke Scott down on strikes, and that's how the Orioles' seventh begins, with Scott down on strikes. Well, you can keep up with the latest Orioles news on your favorite social networking sites, Facebook and Twitter. Visit facebook.com/Orioles or twitter.com/BirdlandInsider and follow the O's. You'll be the first to learn behind-the-scenes information straight from the team's communications department. All the Birdland news you need right there, just a click away. That is just the second strikeout for Feldman. Matt Wieters now singled in the fifth. He's 1 out of 2. And that is a chopper foul just to the right of the bag.
You know, we had mentioned the philosophical change in establishing the fact that they wanted their starters to pitch later in the game. It has to go all the way down, and they have taken it as low as A-ball. And they have their guys above A-ball. No pitch limits. Pitch out of jams, and they're not going to pitch anybody when they're tired. They're not going to pitch anybody when they're sore. But they want them to understand that your job as a starter is to pitch deep into the game.
2 pitches fouled back. The other thing about that philosophy that really jumps out at you is, I mean, here you have Nolan Ryan in the Hall of Fame, 324 wins, certainly will get your attention. But basically, he's making the pitchers accountable for their own performances. And how do you get them better? Well, here's some suggestions, but you have to go out and do that work. You have to get in shape. You have to learn how to command your pitches.
Yeah, and they had an off-season conditioning program where they had everybody come in. Even Kevin Millwood, the veteran, jumped on board and agreed to work good. He, of course, had played with Greg Maddux and had a lot of respect for Mark Maddux coming in as the pitching coach. Millwood and Maddux played together in Atlanta with the Braves. So, yeah, and when you get your veteran and your ace of the staff buying into it, everybody else follows in lockstep.
1-2 the count on Wieters, 1 out, none on. Sharply hit foul. Well, if you think about it, this is their profession. And the one thing that you as an individual player can always control is your own effort. And if that extends first into the offseason, then into spring training, then into the year, you're doing not only yourself but your team a favor by giving yourself the best chance to succeed, which in turn then helps your club.
Yeah,
it's all about your effort.
Well, it sure is. And when your starters are pitching deeper in the game, you don't need as many relievers. So you can cut down the number of relievers you have. I mean, there was a time, and the Orioles are certainly the best example of it, where they carried 9 pitchers. They used 4 starters, and then they would have 5 relievers, and some of those relievers wouldn't get to pitch.
Bounce to second base. Kinsler plays an in-between hop. He'll get Wieters 2 men down.
I don't think there's ever been a time when the athletes are as in good a shape as this current group of athletes. They're obviously in very good shape. They're aware of what's at stake. There's a lot of money to be made. They take great care of themselves. They're in great shape. I just think you have to raise the bar.
David Hernandez, one of the young Oriole pitchers learning this year.
And it's an industry-wide phenomenon. Starters go 5-6 innings. Dodgers are dealing with it right now, and they're trying to hold on to win the National League West.
Melvin Moore gets a hanger and hits it into left field. There's a base hit. 2-out single. So Melvin gets on.
But if you think about it, if you can get your starter to give you 21 outs, 7 innings, 1 pitcher for the 8th, 1 pitcher for the 9th, thank you very much.
Brian Mattis will pitch tomorrow. Jeremy Guthrie on Sunday.
I don't know if there's anybody in baseball that's more anxious to make a start than Brian Mattis tomorrow. Coming off a great start, 7 innings against the Indians, and he wants to get back out there and see if everything that he experienced last time was what it's going to be like.
And a second consecutive start with his new old approach. Go right at him. Michael Aubrey has grounded out to first, grounded out to short. Takes a strike, and it's 0-2.
Michael Aubrey, 6 hits since coming up from AAA, 2 doubles, no home runs. Shown tremendous glove work in the field. Feldman has struck out just 2. He has walked 2, and he's hit about it. But he's only allowed 4 hits, and all 4 hits have been singles. Sharply hit right through the legs of Davis into right field. Moore will make the turn and go to third. Davis went to play the hop. He brought the glove up, and the ball didn't follow. So the Orioles get a break and have runners on the corners with 2 down.
Yeah, that'll be an error on the first baseman. I mean, this is tailor-made. Right to him, sharply hit ball, but you can see he raised the glove up. Moore goes first to third. This is perfect. That should be the 3rd out of the inning, and the Orioles are still alive.
So Aubrey gets on base. That extends the inning. And it looks like that's going to do it for Feldman. Ron Washington is coming out with a very slow walk. He has not yet made the signal. Maybe pondering the move with 2 men down.
No, that deliberate walk tells me he's already made up his mind.
And the signal does go out to the bullpen. So Feldman leaves. He goes 6 2/3 strong. And the bullpen going to work for Texas in the 7th. Pitch, just 1 run, walked 2, struck out 2. Runners on base, his responsibility, but they would be unearned runs if they score. And here's Neftali Feliz.
Neftali Feliz making his 12th appearance, and if you look at his numbers, 1 walk, 26 strikeouts. He has an exceptional command of the strike zone for a young pitcher. He is part of that Mark Teixeira trade with Atlanta. And Teixeira was dealt from Texas to Atlanta. Andrews and Feliz, 2 of the prime prospects in that trade, and they're paying dividends already.
Ty Wigginton will pinch hit for Asturias. As the Orioles looking for a long ball here to get back in it with 1 swing, 2 on. Moore is at third, Aubrey at first, 2 out. Breaking ball swung on and missed.
Yeah, he's got all the pitches. He's formerly a starter and working out of the bullpen right now. He's allowed just 5 hits in 19 2/3 innings.
"21 years old out of the Dominican Republic." Same pitch, and that time Wigginton didn't chase.
Mike Maddox has broken him down, but he's not changed him at all. He's watching him. He thinks his arm angle is a little bit low right there, especially on the breaking ball. But he's not going to change him. He says that might be his natural slot.
Fastball foul back, 98 miles an hour.
Yeah, it's big time stuff. Ty did a heck of a job of getting that fastball. Just try to flare him right now, keep the inning alive. Put a base hit on him and never know what might happen. That's C.J. Wilson warming up down in the bullpen.
Ball and 2 strikes on Wigginton. And he got it. Got a fastball by him. That ends the inning. As Wigginton goes down on strikes. A base hit, an error, 2 left. We'll head to the 8th. 5-1 Texas. On lead, Robert Andino has come on in place of his tourist, who was pinch hit for. So Andino's now at shortstop, and here's Matt Albers on Buck to pitch the 8th.
Yeah, Matt Albers making his 44th appearance of the season. Albers had a little bit of a tough go on Tuesday. Came into relief, and Yankees hit him around a bit.
Murphy, first ball hitting, hits it to Michael Aubrey, who gobbles it up and gets to the base unassisted. 1 down on 1 pitch in the 8th inning. Time for you to text in your vote for the AT&T Player of the Game, and here are the candidates. Feldman, who was in line for a win. Cruz, who has homered. Or Brian Roberts, batting 3rd for the first time in his career. RBI single for the Orioles' only run. Text in your vote now and have your voice heard. A, B, or C to 51862. There's Brian, who batted 3rd tonight. Nelson Cruz now fouls it off. Cruz homered onto the flag court, just did get over the scoreboard. This is inside, 1-1.
We've talked about the Rangers missing a couple of their key offensive players. Michael Young is here. He's got the hamstring problem, and he hopes to play by the middle of September. Josh Hamilton is not here. He is due to fly in to Baltimore today. He was in Texas, got an injection, did not fly in with the team. But he's got a nerve problem, pinched nerve in his back, and he received a root nerve injection to reduce the inflammation.
Ow.
That can't be much fun.
That sounds painful.
And you know what? He's just started to swing the bat well and started to hit a few more home runs, and things came around. And then all of a sudden the back let him down.
1-2 on CRUZ. And Albers gets it. So ground out now, strikeout, 2 quick outs in the Texas 8th inning.
Pretty good movement on this fastball. 1-2 pitch down, lots of sink, 93 miles an hour, and CRUZ swings right over the top of it.
Albers in his 2nd game since rejoining the team when the roster's expanded. Here is Ivan Rodriguez. Pudge 1 out of 3 with an RBI single. He's also scored a run. Breaking ball misses low. Guillermo Moscoso and Warner Madrigal in the Texas bullpen.
And they're probably just getting some throwing in here in the 8th inning. When you have the extra arms down there and you get past a certain inning, you'll get them up and let them do their work, get their throwing in so they don't sit idle.
And both these teams have 10-man bullpens. 1-1 on Ivan Rodriguez. (1999) AL MVP. Grounded towards third. Melvin Moore wide of the bag, spins around, fires. He got it. So Matt Albers has a 3-3 down inning. We'll head to the bottom of the 8th. The Birds come to bat, down by 4. Sunday, and then the Orioles are off Monday and head out on a 5-game road trip. 2 games at Boston, Tuesday and Wednesday, and then next Friday, the 3-game series in New York opens up with a night game at 7 o'clock.
They generally talked about the rotation in New York. It was going to be Tillman, Mattis, and Guthrie in New York against the Yankees. They're going to keep everybody on turn, and that will give both Tillman and Mattis extra days next time around, so that's a good thing.
PA takes ball 1, leading off here in the 8th as Feliz stays on. Well, if that's the case, that means that Tillman won't pitch for a week because the Orioles have 2 days off next week.
Right, and that's a good thing. At this point, just give them the extra day and probably have a couple of different side sessions and maintain and stamina. Just give them an extra day or 2 here is not a bad thing. Just play it by the schedule.
PA is 0 for 2. He's got a 7-game hitting streak on the line. Lays off the off-speed pitch. Buck mentioned that Feliz was one of the players that Texas got back in that trade for Teixeira when he went to Atlanta. And coming into this season, he was the #1 rated prospect in the Rangers organization. Blows a fastball by PA. 2-2.
Well, he's got a very good delivery. I mean, that's the one thing that really jumps out at you is how sound his delivery is. And you can see he's got the grip on the changeup. He throws all the pitches. He was a starter in the Braves system.
PA fouls back the pitch. Count holds 2-2.
Very sound. And you watch his head. Maddox really likes the way pitchers drive their head toward the target. You never spin off the target, and that won't take you out of the strike zone. You think about it, if you can keep your head on line, everything else should follow.
Low ball 3. PA trying to get something going here in the 8th inning. The Orioles down by 4. He has worked the count to 3-2. High fly ball to right. Coming in on the ball is Nelson Cruz. And he has it for the out. 1 away in the Oriole 8th inning. And PA's 0 for 3. Here's Nolan Reimold. Reimold singled in his first at bat, so he's 1 out of 3. High fly ball to left. Back on it is Murphy. And on the warning track, he has it for the out. So Reimold looked for the pitch, got it, and just missed. 97-mile-an-hour fastball.
Yeah, got out in front of it pretty good. It was just a little bit up. Didn't have the ability to really drive it. But he caught up to it, put the barrel on it, and Feliz has 2 quick outs. He's retired all 3 batters he's faced. Wigginton with the strike at the end of the 7th, and now PA and Reimold here in the 8th.
Brian Roberts drove in the Orioles' only run in the 6th inning with an RBI single. It came with 2 men down. That's the only run charged to Scott Feldman, who was fantastic tonight for Texas. 6 2/3, 1 run on only 4 singles. And Feliz gets ahead of Roberts on 1. Down and away, a ball and a strike.
Yeah, 88-mile-an-hour changeup. That's what it is. He throws 97 and has good movement on his changeup, and then humps it back up at 99. Pretty special arm. You can see why he was the top-rated prospect in the Braves system and the insistence for his inclusion into the Teixeira deal.
Ball and 2 strikes on Roberts. High fly ball left center. Murphy moving in on it. The left fielder's there. And he has it for the out. So Feliz has come on. He has faced 4 batters and retired all 4. We'll head to the 9th. 5-1 Texas. Rangers have to love what they're seeing on the scoreboard tonight. Trying to catch Boston in the wild card. White Sox lead the Red Sox 10-1 in the 4th inning in Chicago. Fastball's high to Davis, 1-0, and Kansas City now has a run on the board at home against the Angels. Royals 1, Angels nothing, top of the 6th. Robertson Tejeda's pitching a fine game for Kansas City.
And Jared Weaver started for the Angels.
This is a dangerous trip, if you will, for Texas, because they're on the road against 2 teams out of the race. First the Orioles and then the Indians. Foul back. When they go home from this trip, they have a 9-game homestand, 3 with Seattle, 3 with Oakland, and then 3 with the Angels.
And that's when Ron Washington expects to have Michael Young back, that 3-game series with the Angels.
1-2 on Davis. And Davis down on strikes. Good pitch by Albers ahead in the count.
That good curveball, and he's gotten a couple of strikeouts. Retired all 4 batters he's faced here, and that curveball in the dared wild swing by Davis, and that's what he's prone to do. Boy, if he could ever get plate discipline, he is so strong. 17 home runs.
So Albers picks up his 2nd strikeout. Here's Omar Vizquel. Been on base twice tonight. First ball swinging high, pop up, shallow center. PA in on it. 2 down in the Texas 9th. So Albers, a very good outing here. He's gone 5 up and 5 down since coming on, after throwing 2 scoreless innings on Tuesday in his first appearance since coming back. Julio Bourbon, here's the leadoff man, the DH. There's the strike. Bourbon is 0 for 4 on the night. Does have a stolen base. One on one to count. The Orioles down by 4. Markakis, Scott, and Wieters are coming up in the 9th. Just outside, ball 2. Swept to first base. Aubrey plays the in-between hop, goes to the base. Michael Aubrey, good glove work. Albers retires 6 in a row. Bottom of the 9th coming up. The Birds down by 4. Outstanding outing by Scott Feldman. 1 run on 4 hits over 6 2/3 for Feldman, so it's his game to win. It would be his 15th if Feliz can hold on. Markakis will lead off, then Scott and Wieters. Not only do the Orioles have only 4 hits in this game, all 4 hits have been singles. Only 3 strikeouts, but also only 2 walks. And it's over at the knees for a strike to Markakis, and it's 0-1. Check swing, it's a strike anyway, and it's 0-2. Hey, well, this 21-year-old is pretty impressive.
Yeah, he sure is. He's been the talk of baseball since he's come up. Has the lowest ERA in the major since August 1st.
Fastball's high.
Little extra on the fastball, elevated at 97. In back-to-back outings, he had 7 consecutive strikeouts, equaling Nolan Ryan's club record for successive strikeouts.
He's now gone 18 2/3 consecutive innings without allowing a run. And he hasn't allowed a run in a month. That's a pretty good run. August 5th was the last time he allowed a run. And he gets Markakis with a high fastball. Nick's down on strikes. Number 2 for Feliz, 1 away. Here's an update on the voting for the AT&T Player of the Game. And a close vote. Feldman 46%, Roberts 44%. Still time for you to text in your vote. A, B, or C 51862. And Tom and Rick will have the results coming up on O's Extra Postgame. Here is Luke Scott, who is hitless on the night. You know, the other aspect of what Feliz has added to this bullpen, you know, as you look at Frank Francisco, he's the closer just in case, is because he is durable and has all that starting experience. He could be more than a 1-inning reliever, and with that kind of arm, you want him out there bridging the gap.
Well, what they have done is they haven't pitched him in back-to-back games, and if he throws like he's going to throw tonight, you know, a couple of innings, this could be 2 2/3, 2 1/3. He came on with 1 out in the 7th inning. Probably won't pitch him for a couple of days. They're very careful with him.
Foul back this way. Look out, Karen.
But he doesn't look very fragile to me. He's got a great delivery, and as I mentioned, Mike Maddox, the pitching coach, has really watched him carefully, and he always does. And he's a little aware of the low arm angle. He said that's unusual. He said I'd like to see it a little bit higher, but at the same time, he said it might be his natural arm angle, and I'm not messing with it.
Just outside, ball 3. Well, the scouting report on him is, it says sometimes Feliz drops his arm slot, causing his stuff to flatten out. But the question is, where is that slot?
Yeah, and that's what Mike Maddox is waiting to determine.
Fly ball to left. Murphy has it, 2 down in the Oriole 9th inning. Now, just a reminder to all our viewers, tomorrow's game against the Rangers will be televised nationally as part of Major League Baseball's national broadcast package with Fox Sports. You can catch the Orioles on your local Fox affiliate or follow the game along with Rockabaco and Steve Molesky by visiting MASSonSports.com. We'll be back with you on Sunday afternoon at 1 with O's Extra, presented by AT&T in the finale of the series here against Texas. That game on MASSon 2. Now Wieters fouls it back. Matt singled in the 5th. He's also grounded out to the pitcher and grounded out to second. Feliz has 2 strikeouts and 4 fly ball outs. Sharply grounded foul down the first base line.
And that looked like a changeup, and we're just going to need some new lumber. Hit that toward the end of the bat.
Neftali Feliz, the 21-year-old. He's a rookie. One-two pitch is fouled back. And Wieters gets a piece to stay alive. Kevin Millwood, who is the most experienced pitcher on the Rangers team, he goes tomorrow against Brian Mattis. And then Guthrie against Derek Holland in the finale on Sunday. That ball is swept towards first and will bounce foul. And with Derek Holland going on Sunday, coming into this year, he was the number 2 rated prospect for Texas. So here's number 1 on the mound tonight in relief. Number 2 goes Sunday. He's 22 years old, so he's the old guy in the group.
Yeah, they like the Orioles have brought some young kids up, and they're pitching in a pennant race.
A ball and 2 strikes on Wieters with 2 down. And Matt continues to foul off some pretty good pitches.
Last pitch was 100. I guess that's pretty good.
Triple digits.
And he's not laboring to throw it hard. I mean, he's got a very smooth delivery.
And this one swept to first base. Right there is Chris Davis. He'll go to the bag unassisted. And the Rangers get the opener in this 3-game series. Birds have now lost 4 in a row and go to 2-6 on the homestand. 3 up, 3 down go the Birds in the ninth. A reminder for all of our viewers, tomorrow's game against the Rangers will be televised nationally.